Hi guys, today I'm going to look at seeing if I can build another batch rocket stove, 5 inches again, for cooking. Now I'm actually going to use a ceramic fibre blanket. Normally you would find a metal pipe of some sort to line the inside of the blanket, but I don't have that. So I found some, was it welded mesh, I think it's called. Let's have a look. Galvanized welded mesh, 900 wide, 18 gauge, 5 meters long. Anyway, so I'm going to use that. I need a chimney for a 5-inch rise. I need about 900 mils, so that's about right. My my blanket, I think, is only 610 millimeters wide. Let me just check. Yeah, so this is my roll of ceramic fibre blanket, which is 7 meters long, and I need one piece which is about 40 centimeters, I think, in length, which will produce the diameter of about 5 inches, and I'll need another piece, again 40 centimeters long, but half the width, so that I'll get a chimney of 900 millimeters long. So 1.5 pieces, and I can use the rest of that piece to line the floor of the burn chamber and of the riser. Since my riser is going to have a diameter of 5 inches, and the ceramic fibre blanket is 1 inch in thickness, then I'm going to need an outside diameter of 7 inches, or a circumference of about 22 inches. So that's 22 inches, or about 56 centimeters, and I'm going to double it. So if I double it, that means that I will have a bit of rigidity to my riser. Well, I'm going to get cutting. This is my ceramic fibre blanket, 7 meters of it. I'm going to cut it outside on this plywood plank, and I'm going to wear a bit of lung protection. So this is a mask here, and the carbon filter is said it's rated for particulates of 2.5, so hopefully that's enough to protect my lungs from this these ceramic fibres, which are not bioresorbable, and if inhaled can cause persistent inflammation. There is a brand that makes a ceramic fibre blanket which is bioresorbable, but we don't have that available, and those aren't a health issue. The problem with the fibres being inhaled is not lung cancer like asbestos, but persistent inflammation, so inflammatory lung disease. Also, these fibres are very itchy on the skin, so I'm going to wear a raincoat just to allow me to wash off any fibres with a bit of water. Anyway, I'm going to open this up and cut 22.5 inches. 22 inches is the circumference of the 7-inch diameter riser, but I'm just give an extra half an inch just for help pack it against each other. So I managed to cut 23 inches of this ceramic fibre blanket. I made the mistake of not wearing gloves when handling it, and so I got some glass splinters in my fingers. Anyway, gloves are back on again, and I'm going to roll it up and try and shove it into that cage that I've got over there. Well, that's going to be a bit tricky, but let's see how it goes. Well, I've ended up with a diameter of about 5 to 5.5 inches, which I think I'm going to accept, because I'm not going to unroll this thing and try and cut off that extra inch or so, inch and a half. The stuff is too messy to work with. I've had to remove lots of little ceramic fibres off my raincoat that I'm wearing. And I don't think I really need the whole length of this either. I think 600 is good enough, and I'll get another 30 centimetres just from using bricks, because I need to get that sort of manifold. So if I can cut this off and just use the 610, I think it'll do me fine. Anyway, I need to cut some more ceramic fibre up so I can use it to line the bottom of the burn chamber. Well, I've lined the floor of the combustion chamber with some ceramic fibre blanket, and also, let's have a look, also created a manifold using lots of ceramic fibre blanket, and hopefully I won't have any leaks, air leaks, as I put my chimney or riser on top of this. Just need quite a few more bricks to stack this up so it stays in place. So we got the core built now. The riser height is just on 902, only about 1.5 centimetres short of what it's supposed to be, but going to give it a go, test the core out before I start stacking things around it to try and make it more permanent. Let's see what sort of burn we get. So I'll be using, not there, I'm using this wood here, which I cut from a pallet yesterday. There's only one pallet there. Shouldn't actually need more than this. So we've started the kindling. And I'll let the kindling get a bit going before I add any further pieces of more substantial wood. I do know that some people prefer top-down burning, but this has worked for me so far, so I'll persist with this. After about 5 or 10 minutes, the top of the riser reached about 4 to 500 degrees Celsius, and most of the burn has been smokeless. The burn is still going, and you see a little bit of fly ash floating off. Don't think we can see down below because it's too hot usually. As you can see, I've added more ceramic fibre blanket to cover the roof of the combustion chamber. I was sort of expecting flame to come from the top of the riser, but nothing. But then if you saw flame, that means that combustion is still occurring, whereas really you only want to see heat. If we look at the riser, we can see that most of it is white. Just the very top is a little bit black. So I guess it just cools down to the top of the riser a little bit. So what I want to do next is see if I can stack bricks around the riser to hold it in place, and then put some cooking pot or whatever, wok on top of it to see what happens. I'm not sure that 500 degrees Celsius is hot enough for a wok, but I'll have to look it up and see. You can probably see a little bit of heat shimmer still coming from the top of the riser, as there's still fire going in the combustion chamber, but very little flame at the moment. I guess it's more like charcoals that are burning. Spent the last 30 minutes trying to stack some bricks around this riser. Things don't quite stack up, as it were. So I've had to make a shim out of some hardwood, and that should be okay. I think the outside temperature of the riser when it's about 500 degrees Celsius is only 100 degrees Celsius, so I think the hardwood should be able to cope with that. If that doesn't work, then I guess I will have to cut some bricks up. Anyway, so how many more bricks do I need? 1, 2, 3, 12 more bricks. Run them up the side there, and then see if I can support a cooking implement. So I finished the brickwork and put a few broken fire bricks under the wok ring, which, believe it or not, just fits nicely around the ceramic fibre blanket and the mesh. Now, today I have to boil up that much water and cook a duck for about 2 minutes, I think it is, just to get the skin all tight again. I have to boil the water containing star anise, a handful of star anise, some mandarin peel and some licorice root. Don't have the licorice root, so I'll just stick with the star anise and mandarin peel. Now, it seemed to take me about half an hour to get the water up to boiling when I did it on my gas top, so it'll be interesting to see how long it takes this time. So first of all, I will get the fire up and running. So let's start up my fire, get that up and running. Once the fire is going and I'm not using kindling anymore, I'll then put the wok back on, fill it with the water and start my cook. Fire's been going for about 5 minutes and we're getting a bit of flame coming up. So I think that's burning off the soot as well. That was on the top of the riser. Pretty cool. Water boil test. The fire's been going for about 10 minutes. There's 10 cups of water in there. On my own stove at home, it took over. Okay. Took over half an hour to boil the water. It's looking like it's going to take about 10 minutes now to boil the water. Interesting. Probably a bit overfueled, looking at all that flame coming out. The cooking finished last night. You can see that I had to remove the wok ring from surrounding the metal mesh, as it was too low and obstructing the airflow for the draft, so it just immediately smoked as soon as I put it on. So I had to put another layer of bricks on, and I used a couple of bits of metal to support the pots and to support the rock ring on top of this. Today it looks like it's going to rain, so won't be able to do any cooking that easily, but anyway, this looks very promising. Thanks for watching the build.